Hello and welcome to another Tempo Storm Standard Crafting Guide. With the Saviors of Uldum release upon us next month, we will be focusing on cards from the classes and neutrals that are the most useful in terms of overall playability and will still likely be core for the upcoming expansions. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with all of our future Hearthstone-related content. Now let's begin. Starting us off, we have Druid. Druid at the moment only has one competitive archetype that is seeing play at higher ranks, which is Token Druid. Overall, Token Druid as a whole is a great budget deck to climb with, as the deck can be very versatile. The Druid cards that are the most valuable to have at the moment are Keeper's Steladris, Dreamway Guardians, and Whispering Woods. Keeper's Steladris is one of the newer Druid class legendaries and is highly recommended if you plan to play Token Druid. It's proven to be a solid 2-drop, and if left unchecked can generate a ton of value with your Choose One cards such as Wrath and Power of the Wild. This card will be staying around for quite a while and will definitely continue to see future play. Dreamway Guardians is a staple card for this archetype as well, as it's a 2/4 worth of stats for 2 mana that allows you to establish early board presence. Whispering Woods is another core card for the token archetype and has great synergy with Acorn Bearer, allowing you to go wide and follow up with buffs such as Blessing of the Ancients and Soul of the Forest. Token Druid is a solid archetype that always finds a way into the meta thanks to its strong classic set. It's likely to see play in future expansions, so these cards should be safe crafts. Next up, we have Hunter. The 2 main Hunter archetypes at the moment are Midrange and Mech Hunter, with both being relatively cheap to craft. The most valuable cards for the class are Zul'jin, Master's Call, and Unleash the Beast. Zul'jin is one of the only hero cards in the game at the moment, alongside Dr. Boom, Mad Genius, and Hagatha the Witch, and is a staple card if you're looking to play Hunter. It is not only used in Midrange Hunter, but also Secret and Death Rattle archetypes as well. Zul'jin has the ability to outright win games on the spot due to how powerful its battle cry is. Master's Call is another core card for the Hunter and is the main form of cycle that the class has access to. This card is not going anywhere and will continue to see a ton of play up until it rotates next year. As for Unleash the Beast, it is a great addition and is used in both mid-range and secret Hunter lists. The twin spell mechanic has been very popular, and if you manage to play Unleash the Beast prior to Zul'jin, you can get them back on the board, which creates a ton of pressure. For the Mage class, Cyclone Mage and Freeze Mage are the 2 main archetypes, with Cyclone Mage being a bit more popular. However, there are a lot of overlapping cards between the two, which can make crafting easier. It's hard to narrow down which cards are the most valuable here, as there are so many good cards at the moment for the current meta, but here are some of the more important cards to have if you're looking to play Mage. Conjurer's Calling, Luna's Pocket Galaxy, Archmage Antonidas, and Stargazer Luna. Conjurer's Calling is the glue that holds the Mage archetypes together and is one of the best cards from Rise of Shadows. This card is a very safe craft and will stay relevant until it rotates or is nerfed. Luna's Pocket Galaxy is a card that was recently buffed and has pushed the Mage archetypes over the top, as it allows you to reduce the cost of all of your big threats such as Archmage Antonidas and Mountain Giants. On top of this, you can also build some really fun decks using this card, making it good to craft. Archmage Antonidas is a powerful classic card that falls in and out of the meta regularly, making it a safe to craft. It always finds its way back into the game and has been a part of many strong decks before. Stargazer Luna is an honorable mention, as the card has seen quite a bit of play since its release. This card was core in previous Tempo Mage lists and finds itself as a dominant card in Cyclone Mage as well, due to being able to cycle with your relatively cheap cards. While Mage has a lot of important cards, these ones are some of the safer crafts and are good choices to pick up if you wish to begin playing Mage. Next up is Rogue. Currently, Tempo Rogue is the top Rogue archetype. The most valuable cards from the class at the moment are Heistbaron Togwaggle, Edwin Van Cleef, Myra's Unstable Element, Wagglepick, and Evil Miscreant. Heistbaron Togwaggle is easily one of the best legendaries next to Edwin Van Cleef and is a core card in the current Rogue archetypes. This card is very flexible and allows you to create immense tempo from Wondrous Wand or Zerog's Crown, and can even be a value generator when needed. Myra's Unstable Element is another core card, as it's one of the best draw engines in the game. Being able to draw your entire deck gives you a very fast way to refuel and dig for answers, making it hard for the rogue to run out of resources. Wagglepick is another card that fits into many rogue archetypes. The weapon allows you to either play hyper aggressively or allows you to use its death rattle for more value. After falling off for a short period due to raiding party nerfs, it quickly found its way back into top tier rogue lists due to still being incredibly strong on its own, and is a great tool for rogues. It's likely to stay relevant for the foreseeable future, so consider crafting it. Lastly, Evil Miscreant is a common card, but it's worth a mention. Even after the slight nerf from 5 to 4 health, the value it generates is still something that can't be ignored. Lackeys are very powerful, and Evil Miscreant is a great way to generate them. Warrior is currently one of the most dominant classes on the standard ladder. While Bomb and Control Warrior are different decks, they are both comprised of the same core cards. Some of the most important cards to have for Warrior currently are Dr. Boom, Mad Genius, Town Crier, and Omega Devastator. Dr. Boom Mad Genius is one of the best cards in the game currently and is seeing a large amount of play on ladder. This card could carry Archetype by itself, and as such, it's a very safe craft. Town Crier from the Witchwood expansion is one of the main forms of cycle in current warrior archetypes as it tutors out specific minions. Omega Devastator is from the newest expansion and has proven to be an incredibly powerful card for the class, allowing you to remove big threats and create huge tempo swings, especially if you play it when Dr. Boom is already in play. Paladins have two main archetypes being played at the moment, Mech Paladin and Holy Wrath Paladin. Regardless of which archetype you play, the two most valuable cards in the Paladin set that are being used are Crystology and Prismatic Lens. These are very important cycle tools for both decks and are cards that you should have if you're looking to play any Paladin deck. They both offer a lot of draw for a good mana cost and allow you to get to your game plan faster. Depending on which list you decide to play, pick up Kanger's Endless Army or Shirvala accordingly, as they are necessary for the respective decks. For Shaman, there are quite a few options in terms of meta decks at the moment. Burn Shaman and Murloc Shaman are the two most popular archetypes, but there is also Control and other mid-range variants as well. For the Shaman class, the most important cards are Hagatha the Witch, Shudderwalk, Swamp Queen Hagatha, Thunderhead, and the Murloc package with Underbelly Angler, Sludge Slurper. Hagatha the Witch is one of the few hero cards in Standard and is worth the craft as it's currently being used in most Shaman archetypes. This card offers an insane amount of value and is worth the pickup. The other two valuable class legendaries, Shudderwalk and Swamp Queen Hagatha, are also quite popular and see play in the current mid-range and Control Shaman lists, as well as Murloc Shaman. With the new Shaman quest from Saviors of Uldum, Corrupt the Waters, these cards will most likely continue to see play due to the powerful battle cry effects. As for Thunderhead and Underbelly Angler, these cards are also very popular and seeing play in multiple Shaman archetypes, such as Burn Shaman and Murloc Shaman. They are definitely must-haves if you are interested in playing Shaman. An honorable mention is Doomhammer, however it is a niche pick and used specifically in Burn Shaman at the moment. Doomhammer tends to come and go in certain metas, but due to being a classic card might be worth the craft. Warlock currently only has one competitive archetype, which is Zulak. With future expansions, there might be more support for the control lists, for example plot twist synergy with the newest Warlock quest, Supreme Archaeology, but for the time being it probably isn't worth crafting anything for that archetype unless you want to experiment. Current valuable cards we would recommend having for Warlock are Arc Villain Ratham, the Solarium, and Grim Rally. We would recommend Arc Villain Ratham if you are looking to climb with Zoo, as it's a great card and can allow you to win difficult matchups, especially against the warrior class, which currently sees a lot of ladder play. As for the other cards, the Solarium is core for Zoo, as it's a main cycle tool to help dig for more cards. Grim Rally allows you to buff your wide boards, helping you to play around AoE and push more damage, making it a solid inclusion in any minion-based deck. After the last rotation, Priest lost a lot of core cards such as Radiant Elemental and Shadow Visions, and it has struggled to find its place in the current meta. For the time being, if you decide to play Priest, the cards worth crafting are Extra Arms and Grave Horror. Extra Arms received a great buff from 3 to 2 mana, however the class as a whole doesn't have much support and is the least represented in the current meta. If you do decide to play Priest, this card should definitely be in your collection. Grave Horror saw a bit of play in the previous rotation in Combo Priest and is also currently used in Nomi Priest. Overall, it's a solid card and will likely find play in future lists. As a side note, the strong removal card Plague of Death has been revealed, and other cards in Priest might become more valuable, but we will update potential important cards to have once the full set is released. There are a lot of neutrals that can be discussed, but these are the ones from the current rotation that you should have in your collection. Ziliax, Leroy, Harrison Jones, Mountain Giant, Sea Giant, and Galvanizer. Ziliax, to no surprise, is the best neutral card to craft. It is currently played in a very large percentage of decks across the board, as it's the best card in Standard. It goes without saying that you should have this card in your collection, as it will be seeing a lot of use. Leroy Jenkins is a classic card that finds its way into a lot of metas. By itself, it can push decks over the edge and allow them to close out games when they struggled to do so before. Unless Hall of Famed, Leroy will likely be in every meta. Harrison Jones is also from the classic set and is being used frequently in the current meta. It's a good card to have as it will always see play in metas revolving around weapons. Sea Giants and Mountain Giants are also valuable cards at the moment because Mage is so popular, and these are required in order to play Cyclone Mage. Both of these cards also find their way into other decks frequently, Mountain Giant in ones that draw frequently, and Sea Giant in board-centric ones. Finally, the last card that we think is crucial to anyone's collection is Galvanizer. This card pushes a lot of mech-based decks over the edge and is important in every mech deck. If Blizzard prints more mech synergies, this card will continue to be a staple pick. We hope you enjoyed this meta crafting guide for the current rotation. There were a lot of different cards we could have covered, but we think that these ones will leave you with a good starting place to begin your climb to Legend. We're excited to see how the new cards will perform in the next few months following Saviors of Uldum's release. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up with the rest of our Hearthstone content. Until next time!